We're supposed to change the game. We're supposed to be working on changing innovation in the game. We're supposed to be. I don't want to speak about this, but then once I run into things I gotta speak about, now I gotta talk about it again. We're supposed to continue to lower the cost of healthcare, which is easy when it comes from the government to the customer. So the government to business to customer, right? So that's that's so different to have your emotions connected to it. So if the government pays healthcare, right? And then you gotta take care of the customer, the patient. It doesn't make sense for you to have an ego over the patient that the government pays you more money than the patient. That's probably why they're a patient as well, because they didn't get the funding to take care of their health. It's almost like complete backwards out here lately. Like if the government is funding your sector, which a lot of the time it happens to be health, you're already so you I cannot say it like this, but in the health field, it's a lot different. You cannot control the pricing to the customer when the insurance and the government pay your paycheck. It's not coming from the person itself. Like the copay is not going to you, the one person that starts feeling with their ego. The copay goes to the business still, and that keeps it running, but that's not how you get your check. So everything is still broken down, but your 2 week check or your depending on how you work as in whatever field, like from dental to even nursing, you're not so that's okay. Then there's a different private practice, right? But when you're literally just working in the hospitals, in the dental, that even is at a lower cost for the community, the co-pay, the customer who gives the money, that's not for your check. So you cannot have an ego if the customer has to somehow pay you cash. That's why it's backwards when they don't accept credit, but then when you gotta live on credit, when they don't even pay you your social security the correct way, right? So what a soul survivor is somebody who probably went through something that was really traumatic. We don't like to break that down, but then we just like to say what professionalism is and why somebody might have health issues. So sometimes when I'm running into this a lot, I have to question it. So if I worked many jobs, right? So sometimes 2 jobs or 3 jobs sometimes can then almost equivalent to sometimes one good paying job. Only problem is you overwork and you get outworked if you cannot find a job that has that pay. So now you're working in sections overtime, and then you can kind of get to that. But if you can find that job that's at a higher pay, then you don't have to work 3 jobs. But that's you know different in the health industry. Like when you get paid, your pay is not coming from the customer, it's coming from the government and the way that insurance is being billed, but that's not the patient. So you cannot have. So I understand it's easy to be racist, it's easy to be judgmental, and it's easy to then judge against a patient that looks crazy, right? When they walk in, it looks crazy. But that's kind of transparent because you cannot really say that because, but they might walk in and it's like, dang, that's wild. But their money, just because you feel that way, doesn't go to your paycheck. You're already a healthcare provider, especially in dental. Like once you go through your, I cannot talk about it like that, but when I gotta fix my teeth, then I gotta talk about it from the customer side. So the business to customer, but government to business to customer. It's almost like you cannot have an ego in that. It's different when you're working only for yourself. So when you work only for yourself, you cannot have an ego towards that person who work only for themselves just because you work in the government. Because that, then I see it all the time with EBT, right? You tell them your situation and they say like, wait a minute, hold on a second. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not coming from your pockets. And you're seeing the numbers. So I see it in the dental industry. Once you gotta pay affordable dental. If I walk in there and you're not even my dentist and you're quoting the price, I gotta think like not even the government quoted you that price. And I'm the customer to the healthcare provider, not the business to the customer. That's from the government funding to you, and you're solid. You don't gotta go hustle everything as one person who has health issues that gotta go work 5 jobs. If not, then they might be getting discriminated against to then have that one hype. Then if I say you owe me 200 million a year, everybody says I have an ego. But that's not an ego, because he's a solo person doing business himself. Just because you get your 2 week paycheck and if I do a different form of work, that has nothing to do with me just getting my teeth fixed. You already make probably like almost $10,000 just from the government, just in dental, by me handing you the money. No, if you see the money for the first time, you cannot make the quote higher than your paycheck. This is what I see all the time. Like, then if you put them in that seat, they'll be like, you must be crazy, I'm not paying that. I'm like, you gave me the same price and I'm the guy. How you think I feel? If I want to see the girl pretty, I know that you're not paying that price. You just telling me numbers for the first time like you're hustling on healthcare floor. The healthcare floor is ours, right? So it's a hustle. But it's not you flipping everything inside of the practice. Unless that's something way different. You're not the one. So if it's a private practice and for somehow you know the antidotes and all of that, you might be on the side. But in the government, in the hospital, you're not flipping the blood pressure machine and selling that out the door to make money. So you gotta be worried about if the customer has the blood pressure machine too tight. That's the patient, and you squeezed it on their arm and now you acting like you gotta run. Like, what? This is what I'm noticing in the healthcare field against people. If I'm a soul survivor because I went through issues, but I might happen to be educated, right? So if you're educated, that means you still have provided value because you might have done a different form of work, or you might have been in multiple industries. They're supposed to deliver your payments on time. Because then how on earth is the first of the month? They say rent. They say rent is like 1st and 15th. Like from Lupe Fiasco to Bone Thugs. 1st and 15th to your great grandmother was always that, unless somehow you got a house. And then so this is very interesting because the government cannot change the first of the month rent. That's a interference. How am I supposed to pay my credit card bills, my rent, and all of that, but you not pay me my value and then you delay the payment, and then the bank tell me I'm late, but you're the one that's supposed to deliver me the money. So the bank deliver me the money every month on the 1st. Then they tell me I'm late, but they didn't pay me on the 1st. That's the bank. That has nothing to do with me. That's like Social Security. That's the healthcare. That's the lawyers that's entwined with Congress and the White House. How am I about to wake up every single day? I pay my rent on. People pay their rent on the 31st and it's the 1st. and then they try to pay it. If I'm paying it on the first every single month and it's lower than my value that I even provided with my face publicly. Most people don't provide value with their face publicly in front of the globe. That's different. So that's a different form of value, right? They cannot pay you undervalue, then tell you you're late on your payments, but they didn't pay you on the first of the month. Every single time there's somebody that's on Social Security in the healthcare system, or supposed to, I believe even military too, it's like the same exact thing, but just different payments due to the type of work. But in the healthcare, it's kind of not, depending on, then it's different on how long you worked and if you're older. But that's still the first of the month. So then once the bank is delayed and now they say that you're late, I gotta say, how am I late but you never pay me? That's the bank. You hold on to the vault and the money. I'm just the one that's supposed to be paid on time to then, pay my bills, maybe go to the dentist and then not see an eagle. Imagine the dentist not paid on time on the first of the month. And now I gotta pay. She said, no, $5,000. I'm like, that's more than your rent, bro. And now it's on me. This is not professional in healthcare, and then I gotta deal with PTSD and stress. Everybody's older than me already. That's already been in healthcare. They're getting paid hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. They work 3 days a week. Then it's the next one. But it's intense though. That's the thing, right? So if you're working 3 days and it's intense, that's the intensity of 3 days on the field. And you might be going through some trauma and stress, and that's different than products, right? 7 days, 42 days, just products nonstop. Boom, boom, boom. No days off. Is different than dealing with the health field. But the health is the government's already paying you. So that means you have to take care of the patients and the clients. So if I'm the patient and the client, I cannot keep running into. So if you're a college student professional and you worked as a sales professional, even on commission, then when you gotta go, they tell you commission numbers, and commission doesn't charge you that much. People who work on commission. How is dental worth more than my phone, bro? That is more expensive than internet for the whole year almost. All I gotta do is put a cap on my tooth and some fillings. And now I look at this, more expensive than my rent in 4 months. And they pay me my check late. They didn't even pay it to my bank account. And they're the one with my bank. The bank has my bank account. They gave me my bank card. The bank is older than me. They had vaults before I was born. They were moving gold into the vaults. They put a gold standard and took it off, and then put green backs and blue faces, all of that into the banking system. The financial institutes from New York to California, Silicon Valley. You cannot then change the way everybody in America gets paid on the first of the month and then act like, now I gotta deal with it. Like, how I gotta deal with it? The one individual gotta fix the whole thing. Then I gotta make sure people can use flowers for their health. So then they're thinking that medicine costs too much, and then flowers are cheaper, and now they say you cannot even get flowers. The doctor is saying that. I'm like, how you just made money off of my Discover card, and now you telling me that I gotta go into the system? I just paid you and the state. You even went in there and switched it to 1 year instead of 2 years. How I just paid for 2 years and they say you switched it to one and you work for the state and you're the doctor. How you supposed to make money? How the state supposed to make money? How is you doing your job if you are already getting paid as a doctor? Say you had product yourself as the doctor. How am I supposed to pay you? Where on earth is the system functioning from A to B to C, from Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, amongst any of this, to then have it stop? This is from the algorithm to the healthcare system to accounting with the government, the federal government. I have 3 trademarks that could literally say who the individual is, and then you could say like, okay, yeah, that's a great amount of value and work. I see it. Is reported. You pay for it. We offered it and he bought it for, and he don't even have the money, but it shows we owe him money just because he did it. How does that not trickle down to the state, let alone the federal government that's supposed to pay me? Then the state is going crazy. But the state already knows me because I worked for the state before and the college. And I have to always take care of my health and go to my doctors. And they get paid whether I'm there or not. I cannot start acting bougie. If I gotta take care of my health and still try to make money, my doctors cannot start acting bougie. Like if I walk in there, that's when they get paid. You already getting paid. You don't even need clients and you getting paid for being a doctor. I'm there, yeah, I'm there, and I gotta take care of my health, but I gotta figure out how to make money to stay alive to get to you again. And you're the doctor that could help me, but you don't even want to sell your products. If it's flowers, let alone help me if I need something that's like food, or to just fix my teeth. So somewhere in the healthcare system and the bouginess of the sentiment of the United States and the trickle down economics from the government to the state to local, I don't know how the money is functioning, but we gotta figure it out so it's a smooth process. Then business can continue to circulate, right? The faster business circulates, the more people are happy, more miracles happen, longevity happens, better food, lower cost, and everybody gets to celebrate in City Pop, and then we create innovation. We don't have to have an ego on the sales floor or on the healthcare field when they make sure that certain people, that's why you went into the field, because it made sure you were comfortable. It's chaotic, but it made sure you can deal with that compared to the patient dealing with no money and they're dealing with the care. They walk to you. Imagine I gotta walk to you and say I have $200 and I'm going through this. And I gotta tell that to you. That should be the easiest non-ego transaction you see. $200. I just got paid 10 grand for working for 6 days. That's the healthcare field. That's easy. Matter of fact, I just did the reps like this and that, got paid for the reps and the training, and I can help you, no problem. I was stunting in the club and I'm still good. This how grade A VVS quality my thought process is nonstop. In the healthcare field, it's like a pilot. And you get paid already. There's no ego at the bottom, and I'm the patient and the customer. It has nothing to do with emotions. It's just the transaction should be super smooth, which is just the patient getting taken care of. Because then when you shake hands and you see it again, you get a raise on camera then. They don't gotta walk off camera and be like, yo, the white dude, plus that one, plus the dental assistant, plus the other one, plus Costco, plus the ice cream look great. And that's all intentional flagrant fouls. And I don't even work there. Like the first time I pop out, like, so, okay, apparently I didn't know that. So you made the ice cream, it don't look like the sign. I don't even work here, bro. I don't know the ice cream machine. It said it on the sign. All I did was say the word. Say mint ice cream. Get that back. It's not even mine. The person get it back like a DoorDash. They said that look crazy. I'm like, I never saw this in my life. What you mean it look crazy? Now I gotta identify it. I gotta start looking at the screen. I gotta look at what I just got. Now I gotta look at the person in my mind, like, so they made it like that. And that's not a DoorDash, that's my mom saying that. What is this? Look like a cannoli. What kind of ice cream is this? I said, I don't know. You told me you want the mint. Then my dentist doctor who worked on my teeth the whole time, he told me, bro, this you should be good $350, $400, $500. I see the estimate quote for more things, $4,000, $5,000. I'm like, holy moly, and they told me one thing. And that's not my doctor who did all my mouth. Then I gotta start rethinking life like, oh, so is that my new doctor now? Or am I just learning today? Like, so, you this close to your rent that you just told me? Just because your mortgage said that number? Now I gotta get the quote? The first time I never even talked to you in that long. I gave you my bank, said $200, and they didn't pay me. How you make more money than me and you cannot tell that it says that it's late? Now I gotta go walk to the bank and be like, it says for the last 10 years on the first of the month. Now apparently on the first of the month, the next day I wake up, you told me it was late. Then you gave me an overdraft. It says that I'm waiting for it right here and it's not there. I just woke up. You work at the bank. You work at the dental and you make the ice cream. I'm the customer that's supposed to just buy it. Smooth. I don't even... Imagine I'm just a DoorDash customer. But then I gotta go through this. And I don't even want to. I thought it looked one way, the mint ice cream. Now it's the remix mint. And I gotta hear about it. It's the craziest thing I heard. And then she put the next one right next to it. And then I gotta turn around and even the person who got that one gotta look at me. And I gotta look at it crazy. And they made two of them. And the one that looked good, look at mine. And I gotta deliver it and I gotta say, I don't know. I never made an ice cream cone smoothie in my life that was mint or even banana. I never did that in my life. Then, like, you know how much Hollywood people get new teeth every day with commercials? It's not even dentures. They just push something on top. They got diamonds. They got... I just seen somebody pop up with all diamonds in her teeth. And now, it's not even a diamond for the cap I already have. It's not even gold. They told me $5,000 plus you get a discount. It might be $500. I said, you must be out of your mind. Now, how about family and friends night? Where's the 50% off of that? Just so I can make it through the next day. Now they're talking about no grace periods exist. No grace. I thought like every song in America was like Amazing Grace. Like everything they talk about is grace. Even in the church they talk about grace. go to school, the lunch lady's name is Grace. And now they say there's no Grace. People is running around hectic. Bro, we just gotta get the office in order. The Pokemon cards say perfect order. Everybody's running around and quoting prices. That's not an individual hustler. You cannot tell the one person who was on the news just because they was on the news and they wrote the song. Okay, that's $10,000 for you. Like, you never made $10,000 in your life and now you telling me that. My credit card is telling me that I don't have the ability to upgrade it. I did more number ones than most people in their lives before they had Black Card Unlimited, bro. They were maxing the whole thing out and now they cannot give grace on it. Everybody's car who work at the credit card is more expensive than my card. Now people walking around like, oh, it's over with. It's over. Your vehicle is 10 times more than my card. 10 times. You work there and you over there looking at my money. You're like, I don't know if you're about to make it. It's looking close to the, it's not even at the line and they're saying you cannot do anything. Like, I still got $700 at least. They're saying, I don't know if it's gonna make it to my email. Bro, the bank didn't make it on time. I still got more of a credit line. And nobody's number one on Spotify like that. And now they're saying, I don't know, like, it's not a grill, but $4,000. Let me see your grill. I don't know. That's the ice cream for you. Here's down for them. Now they gotta look at me different. Like, I was the one who made my own ice cream in there. Like, I walked in there, put it down there. The person who works there made more money than me by making those. Craziest society that we've been living in that's backwards. Like, then girls saying, like, I cheated, but I held your stuff in my closet. Like, why on earth would I cheat if I got your stuff in my closet? Who about to wear your stuff in the closet? Like, I don't know what any of this has to do with. Can we just be professional at work? Nobody's professional at work. They're bringing their kids to work like it's daycare. Playpen behind the desk. I'm like, so what about the cameras that went to my house, the police? Like, I don't know, and the kid is with the joystick on the security behind their desk. I'm like, your kid is acting like security behind your desk and you have all the cameras and you say now you don't know. What you mean you don't know? You in here all day with AC just looking at cameras with your daycare center. I'm like, it's the only thing you're doing because you cheated with everybody. That's all your kids. You put them all in daycare one time. Like, what? That has nothing to do with me. Your boy don't even have kids, and now people with kids is bringing their ego to single people. How is that? How are people attaching me to their family drama? Is your family? Like, I don't know what you talking about at all. I just gotta fix my teeth. I just gotta get my paycheck on time. I just gotta lower the cost of housing. We just gotta keep providing more value and more products. And we gotta keep City Popper doing it big time. All this other shenanigans and all of that. They're talking money in the wrong places. And they work with the government. And they're talking about hustling at the government. That's not how the government works. Go home, take a chill pill. That's different than the hustlers that gotta survive. That had to be in the cage every night to survive and provide communication to families across the globe so they didn't lose track of each other on vacation and lose their internet and minutes once they go roaming and come back. It says, bro, that's $10,000. Like, that's the kind of value we were providing. That's way different than whatever is happening now out here. It sounds crazy when you gotta just scan the account to save them money when they go overseas so they don't come back. Like, shook. Like, oh, I just let my boyfriend borrow my internet router, my hotspot. Yeah, we just put 200 gig. What kind of prices? Let me try to just bring this down and try to come up with the best solution, because that's something different than my tooth that just gotta be fixed. 500 gigs on a hotspot and you went overseas and you guys both shared it. That's different, and you guys made it back. And now your bill looks crazy. At least you guys got to communicate. And then we see people play with their telecommunications. It doesn't make any sense right now. So we got to bring the prices lower. Just because the prices are lower in the food store doesn't mean your check is lower. That's when you scanning the food and now you're like mad because it's $2, but you saw it at $4 and you acted like you selling it. No, you're not. That's a sale at the grocery store. You never sold the $7 soda for $3 yourself. Let it go. Now the grocery store is taking half of it. They're hiding it behind the counter, saying it's unavailable. It's right here on the newspaper. It says $3 for 2. And now it's gone. It's Houdini vanished. That's just like the girls these days. All you did was sleep with somebody else. Stop acting like you had to do this or that. No, you didn't. You're supposed to spend more money and not behave that way. That's just that simple. So my lawyer gotta bring in the money faster to me so the message gets clear. Because there's no way I spend that much time on number one and online that now the algorithm doesn't provide value in the right places. If you actually are on the internet, it's a blessing and a miracle that I'm on there, because all the rest gotta be balanced out just with professional videos, just with real life hustling videos. It's not when you see him, you gotta quote 20 bands, you gotta, what is you talking about? Nobody here made that yet this month. Now I gotta pay that? Crazy. That's why I cannot deal with it right now.